Hey, welcome back to the garage, everyone. All right, we got a short vlog style video for you today. Not a whole lot going on here as we get closer to the end of the year. We're going to take a week off next week for the Christmas holiday, obviously. And then coming into the beginning of the new year, may or may not get around to another project. We'll wait and see. Well, anyway, in today's video, I thought we might just talk about things that we went through during the course of the year and kind of sum things up and maybe talk about a path forward. You know, see where the channels go, see what kind of new projects are going to be coming over the horizon. All right, well, having said all that, you guys stay tuned for these important messages. Are you accident prone like me? Do you own a European diesel car that makes sooty black oil? Well, I'm here to tell you, if you have those two things in your life, Super Clean can save the day. So I tend to buy it by the gallon, and I keep a El Cheapo spray bottle around the house. So you're not going to find a better degreaser. Not really. You can see where it's starting to dissipate that oil like there. Now this is a large amount of oil, so it's going to take a little bit here. So. Now I could use some oil dry to get most of this up, but I don't have any, so we're going to do it this way. Now, not only are you picking up the oil, but a little bit of gray color from the coloring in the floor. Now, normally when you would wipe up something like this with just a rag or whatever, or even with oil dry granules, you're going to leave an oily residue. But with the degreasing aspect of Super Clean, what you're going to be left with is a clean, dry surface. Look at that. No sheen to it, no shine to it, just a bare bones, gray, dry concrete. Best degreaser on the market, guaranteed. Not sure what's going to go on this weekend. Probably not a whole lot, to be honest with you. Probably just going to be a vlog video today. You know, kind of a mix mash of stuff. I don't know. We'll find out. Man, what an absolutely gorgeous blue sky day. 39 degrees. Nice and chilly. And that's all right by me. So we are winding down around the garage towards the end of the year, and I'm not too sure how much more big stuff I'm going to accomplish before January. So today I think we'll just kind of go through a few things and maybe talk about the year in the rear, you might say, and we'll just see how it goes. This morning though, I'm in the Golf Sport Wagon 2015 Dieselgate. If you hear the car beeping, it's because my key is kind of out of whack and the car thinks that the key is not in range. And the way I start this car with my key that's out of whack is you put your foot on the brake and you take the key and you hold it next to this special location on the side of the steering column. There's actually it's marked, and then you, with your other hand, you press the button and start the engine. Anyway, I tried to resync my key. There's no procedure on the internet to do it. I haven't found it. If you guys know where it is, put it in the comments down below and, you know, I'll try it. But I think I'm just going to have to pay the Volkswagen people the money to resync my key. Now, my wife's key, it works fine, so, you know, out of sight, out of mind. So that's the reason why I hadn't fixed it yet. Anyway, let's move on. I'm headed over to Napa, and we got a really nice distribution center type Napa here. And you walk in there, and it's like this, the shelves are like 3 stories tall, or not 3, but 2 stories tall, and you know, they got all kind of stuff. So I don't go over there too often because the O'Reilly is just up the street. We also have an O'Reilly distribution center, but it's farther away. I don't go there as much, but I go there quite often. Anyway, we're headed over to Napa because they carry in stock the oil for this Volkswagen. I like running the Volkswagen 507 standard because that's what the manual says to run, so that's what I'm going to do. And I've been running the Liqui Moly 5W30 Top Tech model 4200. That's the oil I run in it. I go over here at the Napa and I get a big bottle and a little bottle, and that's just right for what the engine holds. So it's due for an oil change. I've been changing the oil in this car every 5,000 miles, so I've been kind of babying it. So if you came to this channel early on a few years ago and watching me work on the old Mercedes, and you've probably noticed over the past couple of years the Mercedes content has kind of waned because, well, I finished the car and I drive it every day. So really, well, there is one little spot in the back above the bumper that's got a little rust in it, but you know, I don't look at it all the time because I'm driving the car. It is on my list to fix though, so you know, give me some time. Anyway, so I tell you what, I've been looking around to try to find another old Mercedes to restore or work on or turn it or revive, maybe just a revival, you know, go grab one out of the weeds somewhere and get it running, and then maybe sell it on to somebody else that might want to take it the rest of the way. I don't know. I don't have a whole lot of room around the house, so I got to be real careful about that kind of thing. The neighbors, you know. But over the last couple of years, I've been doing mechanical restorations on the Cadillac and the Corvette. And you know, if you've been watching the channel over the past year or so, it's been all about the Corvette mostly. And we've got that rascal dialed in. Let me tell you what, I've only got some very minor things that have to be resolved before I take it on my inaugural road trip that I want to do. Those 2 things are, I want to have the carburetor completely refurbished once again, and I'm going to send that off. And if he looks at it and goes, yeah, I don't know, if there's any hint that he might say, you know, if it's questionable, I'm going to say scrap it. And I'm going to go find another one. Or install something completely different. Because I know for a fact, well, I'm 95% sure that carburetor internally is just not right. It's leaking. Something's going on there. Something's got to change. Either that one's going to get fixed, or I'm going to go EFI, or I'm going to go find another Quadrajet, numbers matching Quadrajet. I don't know. Something's going to happen. And I got to put another set of tires on the car because the ones on there are from 2009. Yeah, they're too old, so can't be running around the country like that. But that car's done. The Corvette is done. So, and I've been driving it every other day just to put some miles on it. There's a 500-mile break-in period on the Tremec TKX transmission. So I'm done. So anything I do in the Corvette now is going to be minor adjustments, tweaks, you know, upgrades here and there. I might change the muffler inserts on the side pipes. Right now, we've got what we call the reverse flow. I know that sounds silly, but that's the most quiet side pipe you can get, and they're fairly restrictive. But now that I got it running, I think what I'm going to do is go for the mid-grade. And you got 3, you know, or 4, I suppose, technically. You got the reverse flow, or the really quiet ones. They're more restrictive. Then you got what they call the glass pack style, which is middle of the road. It's a compromise between noise level and performance. And then you got full flow, you know, and you know, noise level be damned. Yeah, almost missed my turn here. You'd have to wear hearing protection all the time, but so that's not going to happen. So I think I'm going to go with the mid-grade pipes, but I'd probably next year sometime. Not worried about that right now. I was more worried about what it would take to seal them up properly, and I found the right sealant with that copper colored Permatex stuff. So that's actually worked out really well. All in all, 2024 pretty much summed up to be fix everything on the Corvette that was bugging me or wrong or needed upgrading or updating. I tell you what, that Tremec TKX 5-speed, oh my goodness, what a fantastic piece of machinery that is. We got that in there, and got the hydraulic clutch in there. To be honest with you, the hydraulic clutch is a little bit easier to press than the old manual one, but it's still not really easy. I think it's by nature of the springs on that clutch disc on that Corvette. That's just the way it is. I will tell you this though, that hydraulic clutch setup eliminated all of the external nonsense underneath the car associated with the clutch, the cross shaft and the spring and the levers and the big old fork and all that crap. All you got now is a master cylinder underneath the brake booster and a little hydraulic line that leads into the bell housing. That's it. That's all you see. It's fantastic. Also with the Tremec TKX, there's no shift rods. On the old BorgWarner Super T10 4-speed that was in the car, you have these shift rods on the side of the transmission. And they took up all kind of room. And they're all gone because this new Tremec TKX is a top loader. The shifter, it just goes straight into the top of the transmission and you don't see anything else. The underneath of the car is just super, super clean. And it's so much more easy to work on it also. The old Cadillac, we finished that up a couple of years ago. I guess it was maybe 18 months ago. I'm not sure when. But mechanically, underneath, front, from rear to front. And we did a lot of work on the going over railroad track. Anyway, and we did a lot of work on the engine too, but we didn't get in depth with the engine. And I've taken it on a couple of road trips, but you know me, it's still not perfect. when it idles, it's still got a little thing there. I think one of the lifters is, I've talked about this before, and I think here come first of the year, begrudgingly, I'm going to go ahead and start diving back into that car. And but it's going to be fun though. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rebuild the air conditioning system on that car. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the original air conditioning refrigerant lines and I'm going to rebuild them. I'm not going to buy new ones. I'm going to rebuild the lines. I'm going to cut the rubber off and cut the crimp stuff off. I'm going to buy a crimping tool. I'm going to buy some new rubber hose, and I'm going to remake the AC lines. That should be a lot of fun, actually. And I'm going to get a new compressor, going to get a new POA valve, and it's going to be good. The air conditioning on that car, we're going to get it back to 100%. I'm not going to go R12. You can't find R12. If you do, it's $100 a can. I'm just not doing that. So I'm going to go 134. And I don't care what you say about the, temperature difference, blah, blah, blah. Don't care. It'll be fine. Once we get the air conditioning compressor off there, I'm going to pull the intake off, and I'm going to pull the lifters out of that engine, and I'm going to inspect them one by one. Because the teeth on the timing chain started to fall apart. And I found remnants of those nylon teeth on that timing chain all over that engine. I found it in the top of the head. I found it in the oil pickup screen. You see where I'm going? What if some tiny bits got into a couple of lifters, right? And gummed them up inside and made them kind of sticky? And then idle, they don't run right. Anyway, just a crazy theory. I just really don't know. I got a half a mind to pull the heads off, take a look at the valves, and we're going to do a lot of stuff on the Cadillac, so just stay tuned for that. All right, we got our oil. The Napa place here, man, it's a whopper inside. They just got through adding all these shelves, and it's absolutely huge. And they told me they're going to start getting more AC Delco inventory, so that should be pretty cool. All right, we're going to head back to the house, see if we can't change the oil in this Volkswagen. Of course, you know, earlier this year I went ahead and sold the old CJ7 Jeep. I didn't drive it a whole lot, and to be honest with you, I just needed the money to do the engine and transmission on the Corvette like I wanted. So, you know, it worked out really well. You know, I've had that Jeep since 09, spring of 09. And that's quite a while, actually. That's 15 years. That's quite a while, you know, that's pretty good. And my buddy who bought it, who had actually secretly been yearning, or I guess really, he wanted it, basically. I didn't know how badly he wanted it, but when I put it up for sale, hey, you're selling the Jeep, man? I said, yeah. You know, and then I said, you thinking about it? He's like, yeah. I said, well, come on by the house, man. Come on, come take a look at it. Come drive it, you know. So anyway, we worked out a deal, and it worked out really well for me and him. So, and he's been having a ball with it. He put some new tires on it. He worked on the steering. He's done this and that and the other thing. I think he put another radio in it. And I've been taking his kids out, and you know, they've been enjoying it. So worked out really well. Anyway, it's being enjoyed like it should be, you know. You know, at my house, it was just sitting around not being used. So that's unacceptable. My son drives that 09 Pontiac Vibe, and that thing, every time he gets gas, it gives him a problem. It won't start properly, it'll run roughly for a little while, and then it'll pick back up and behave again. That sounds like a charcoal canister purge valve, and based on everything I've been reading, I've never actually encountered that issue before. Anyway, I got on Amazon and ordered a $20 purge valve. We slapped it on there yesterday. I'm not sure if it's been fixed yet because we hadn't filled up with gas yet, but we're gonna find out. All right, let me get this thing back to the house and change this oil. So we'll see you in a bit. Well, I suddenly realized that the last time I changed the oil in the Volkswagen, the Corvette, well, it, you know, it wasn't really ready for prime time, but seeing as how we can move both the Corvette and the Cadillac at will, I think I'm going to forego laying on this cold concrete to change the oil in the V-dub. And let's go ahead and get the let's go ahead and get the Volkswagen on the lift, shall we? Alright, where, oh, there they are. You got these little flanges of steel on these cars. Man, there's a whoop-de-doo right there. When did that happen? Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't matter. My other half probably jumped a curb or something. These damn modern cars. Beep, 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 beep. Complaining about the gear shifter not being in park and all that kind of. I'm gonna pull out my old man now. When you have everything done for you, you don't realize, you know, common sense things. Basically, cars are going to be self-driving here nearly in the, I mean, they are now, but, you know, it's going to be ubiquitous probably in the next 30 or 40 years. So that poor fellow that played Chekhov on those new Star Trek movies passed away, unfortunately, due to silly electronic gear shifter design in the Jeep that he had purchased. He either didn't get it into park all the way or something. It's a knob on the console for shifting the gears. Anyway, and he's checking his mail. Damn car ran over him. The days of simplicity have gone by the wayside. All right, we got our arms placed in the right location. It's been a minute since we put this car in the air. I'm just gonna double check that I'm not tearing up anything. You gotta be careful. Well, let's just do a little quick inspection here under our Volkswagen. Axle boots look good. No brake fluid leaks. This car is 9 years old now. Shouldn't have any rubber problems, but you never can tell. I haven't done brakes on this car, but they seem fine. They're a little juddery when you press the brake. I think the rear rotors probably need replacement. I don't see anything out of the ordinary. Of course, the tire pressure monitoring system is complaining, but I really don't care. Now that's interesting. Oh, look at that. Huh. So this, look at that right there. These little doodads, they're supposed to be in there, aren't they? This is a bracket for the exhaust. How long has that been that way? Man. Okay, we're gonna have to fix that. What do we got here? Some kind of a crazy emissions device. Got a flapper on it. No clue what that does. An O2 sensor. Exhaust looks good. Got nice shielding. Heat shield. These modern cars have this. Europeans love to put this heat shielding on the cars above the exhaust. It's just fantastic. I don't know about whether or not modern Japanese cars do that or not. Looks like, we got a fastener right there. It looks like there's a fastener missing right there for that little shield. Yeah, all this stuff here is Sachs, made in Mexico. The car was made in Mexico, I think, so that makes sense. I think these are the original shocks. I don't see anything out of the ordinary. Yeah, nothing's leaking. That's cool. Only thing I see is that exhaust. See there? Here's your exhaust bracket back here. It's fine. I'm wondering now if I don't see how that is just weird, man. How did that come about? I don't see anything out of the ordinary up in there on the back of the engine. This is a flexi thing, apparently. Got some leeway there. I don't know how I'm going to do that. I guess I'll have to take this off, put it on here, and then lift it up and rebolt it. I don't know. What do you guys think? All right, well, let's go ahead and change the oil first and get that over with. That's such a hassle on this car. All right, we got T25s and those are T45. Yeah, these T45s were missing when I bought the car. They just had some bolts in there or something. I had to go to the dealer to get them. Let's get these little ones out of here. They're doing this on the ground. Well, it's not a lot of fun, to be honest with you. You go over there and hide. I've been needing something to do. Volkswagen put some foam up in there around that. I'm not sure why they did that. Probably to soak up oil that leaks from all diesels, no matter what you do. And they knew it too. I don't see anything out of the ordinary there. There's our exhaust system that we were just messing with. Filters here Got to disconnect this wiring harness and just move it out of the way. Then we'll drain the oil out of the filter housing before we take the housing cover off. All right, got 19 millimeter here for this drain plug, and there's no way around this, I don't think. It's just going to be messy. I did not open the oil filler cap to allow air because that's just too violent. Because for whatever reason, the oil just slings out of this engine like it's under pressure, and I ain't kidding you. I mean, look at that. Started shooting out, going over there. All right, relax, relax. It's gonna be all right. It's the most aggressive oil drain of any vehicle I've ever run across. It's crazy. All right, we got to get this little push nut out of this bracket here. Wrong tool, Harris. I know, I just don't want to go get the right one. All right, now we can. I have been in the past disconnecting this little connector from this doohickey right over here. I think it's a valve that goes to the radiator, but I'm just not going to fiddle with that today. All right, my records show 22 foot-pounds. That is 264, 250, and then another little bit, because as high as it'll go is 250. So let's loosen this drain. There we go. Had to pop it loose there. It's on there pretty good. I don't know who tightened that like that. Oh, wait a minute. No, I think I know who it was. There we go. Come on out of there now. Not my favorite design, not really. Yep, got the drain out of there. It was right up in there, so trickling down the oil there. Not a great design, but you know, we'll deal with it. All right, we've got a 1.25 inches on the Big Hicks attachment for the oil filter housing. You know what? I'm gonna make my life a little easier. Yep. Of course the filter stays in there. Why would it not do that? It's kind of a press fit up in there, so you know, cartridge style. Isn't that great? Not really, no. All right, we got the Napa Gold, part number 1000056. Got a couple of O-rings here. And there's your filter. We can go ahead and slap this into the car now. It's just a press fit. I'm going to go ahead and slip it up in there. I got a couple of O-rings here that you need to swap out. Ooh, look at that. They got fancy. They gave you a Ziploc bag so you didn't have to fight with it. That's kind of nice. And the housing O-ring there. And then the little oil drain for the housing has got an O-ring on it too. I didn't replace the oil drain plug this time, mostly because I forgot. You know, Volkswagen wants you to change it out every time, but that's just silly. You know, they can go for 2 or 3 oil changes. The main culprit is these crush washers here. You know, and it's because of the way the oil pans are designed in these cars and all that kind of jazz. So anyway, let's go ahead and tighten this up. At least we don't have to do this up in the car. We can do it here on the bench. 5.2 Newton meters. The drain plug, a little picture of the drain plug says 5.2 Newton meters, and the housing is 25.5 Newton meters. So, can I do that by hand? Yeah. Yeah, there we go. That'll work. All right. So, all right, let me go ahead and put this. Oh, yeah. See there? Told you I was going to make a mess. Let's go ahead and get this housing back on here. All right, it said 25 Newton meters on this thing. Oh man, I'm glad that's over with. I'm gonna put that wiring loom back in place now. There we go. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and get this thing on the ground. get some oil in it, do a leak check before we put the cover back on. So let's do that next. I'm not impressed with this spout on this Liqui Moly oil can. I'm like, why does it need to be so sophisticated? It's just, I don't know. I just don't get it. I'm probably not using it correctly. The oil's getting into the engine though, so that's what's important. All right, I've got one big bottle and one little bottle. Liqui Moly, made in Germany. How about that? All right, we're gonna let this thing run for half a minute, then we'll check it. I didn't pour that whole second bottle in there just out of precaution, so let's see how close we are. Yeah, I always doubt. I don't know why I doubt, but I doubt. So it's one big bottle and one little bottle. That's what it is. That's just the truth. It's never going to change. Why do I think it's ever going to change? All right, oil change is done. So I think we'll go ahead and get this thing back in the air. We're going to take a look at that exhaust, see if we can get that bracket fixed. Let's see what we can do with this. Let's see, can you... No, I'm not going to do that. I wonder how this got this way. Somebody must have been in here fooling around at some point in the past. I can't see this thing as falling out though. I just can't see that. I think I'll get my little transmission doohickey out and use that to force it upward. Let's see, how in the hell are we going to do that? All right, that just slips down like that. This part was made in Spain, by the way. Interesting. That's pretty rigid, and that's pretty rigid. How are we going to do this? I wonder if this is a defect. This car had the recall work done on it, the Dieselgate stuff, the software, but I don't know what all that entailed. I don't know if that was mechanics or just software or whatever. It might have had something to do with the exhaust filtration. This takes the DEF fluid, but I'm not sure how I'm going to get this on there. Do these come out of here? Let me take this over to the bench. I'm just kind of playing around here. Silicone spray there. Just see what that does. Hey, look. I heard something go pop. Well, I'll be damned. Huh. Hopefully I didn't pop my exhaust. If I did, it'll be a loud trip to Grandma's house because we're going to take this thing to Christmas. Well, let me try that again on the other side. Heck, that worked out pretty good. I was expecting it to put up more of a fight. All right, but yeah, we got to get this figured out. All right, I'm going to get this, I'm going to wrestle this one up in there, and I'll be right back. All right, took some finagling, I ain't going to lie. It took me about 10 minutes to figure that out. I got my transmission, I got my stabilization jack and a piece of wood and put some silicone on it and all that kind of jazz. And was able to mess with it enough to get that other one started. I think I can tell why now. Whoever was in here didn't put that back together properly. This flexible hose up here, it's like really, really flexible. So hopefully we didn't cause too much havoc there. Because, diesel engines and all, they rattle and shake and all that kind of jazz. Let me get a wrench for that. Ooh, Ben, you know what? I'm going to put some Loctite on that. I'm going to go for this red stuff. I don't know what. It's 263. That's just whatever I had in my shelf over there. Loctite has, I don't know. They have got a version of this stuff for nearly every application you can imagine. Let me get some over here on the other side. Man, I'm glad we found this. The exhaust system would have rattled itself to death eventually. All right, what is the torque setting? No clue, not gonna worry about it. There we go, that's good enough. Yeah, all right, man, that makes me feel good. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and put this cover back on the bottom of the engine and we'll get this car on the ground. All right, we're gonna get Dirty Verdi back in her little hole here. Man, look at that hood. She's a nasty girl. All right, folks, that's all we have time for today. Appreciate you guys stopping by the channel. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And if you'd like to be notified whenever I release a new video, don't forget to click that little bell down below. You guys have a good one, and remember to enjoy taking care of your classic car as well as your daily driver. Once in a while, they just might surprise you.